the one, the only, the legend, Miss Jiggly Caliente.
Strong and feminine, fierce but elegant, personified. Within me is magical.
What's good, ladies? My name is Jiggly Caliente. I'm 30 years old from Queens.
It's a heartbreaking day for fans all around the world. Jiggly Caliente, the dazzling star of RuPaul's Drag Race and Pose, has passed away at just 44 years old. The news has left countless hearts broken, with tributes pouring in across every corner of the internet. But to understand just how big this loss truly is, you have to know who Jiggly really was, beyond the makeup, beyond the fame, beyond the sparkle. Born Bianca Castro Arabjo, Jiggly Caliente came into a world that didn't always make room for those who dared to be different. Raised in the Philippines before moving to the United States, Bianca grew up navigating not only the struggles of being an immigrant, but also the heavy burden of living authentically in a world that didn't always embrace authenticity. But even in her earliest days, it was clear. She was destined for something greater. Friends from her childhood remember her as bright, energetic, and deeply empathetic. Always the first to offer a hand, a hug, or a laugh when someone needed it most. She didn't just survive, she thrived, building her confidence piece by piece, one hard-earned moment at a time. Jiggly's journey into the spotlight wasn't paved with ease. Like many queer and trans individuals, she faced bullying, discrimination, and the constant pressure to dim her light to make others comfortable. But she refused. Every step she took, every bold choice she made was a declaration. I am here. I deserve to be seen. And it was that spirit, raw, real, and relentless, that would eventually capture the hearts of millions. In 2012, the world first met Jiggly Caliente on Season 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race. It didn't take long for her to stand out. She wasn't the polished, calculated queen some viewers had come to expect. No, Jiggly was vulnerable. She was messy, hilarious, emotional, powerful, all at once. She was human. And in a competition known for fierce makeup and flawless lip syncs, it was Jiggly's honesty that set her apart. Fans immediately connected with her. When she opened up about her struggles with body image, her rocky family relationships, and her fears of not being enough, it resonated far beyond the Drag Race stage. Suddenly, viewers saw themselves in her laughter, in her tears, in her courage to be seen, flaws and all. She may not have made it to the finale, but she walked away with something far more enduring, a place in the hearts of a global community who saw her not as a performer, but as a sister, a mirror, a beacon. But Jiggly's journey didn't end with Drag Race. In many ways, it was just the beginning. She parlayed her rising fame into new opportunities, landing a role on FX's groundbreaking series, Pose. Set in the vibrant world of New York City's ballroom culture during the late 80s and early 90s, Pose wasn't just another TV drama. It was a love letter to LGBTQ+ history. And Jiggly's portrayal of Veronica Ferocity added yet another layer to her growing legacy. Through Pose, Jiggly wasn't just acting. She was telling the story of a community that had fought tooth and nail for survival, visibility, and dignity. Every scene, every line, carried the weight of real lives lived in the shadows, lives Jiggly herself knew intimately. Her performance was powerful because it was personal. It was the story of herself, her friends, her sisters. It was the story of resilience. Even as her career flourished, Jiggly remained deeply connected to her roots. In 2022, she made history once again as one of the judges on Drag Race Philippines, bringing her journey full circle. For a young queen in Manila, watching someone like Jiggly on the judges' panel wasn't just inspiring, it was life-changing. It said, "You belong here. Your story matters." Jiggly took that responsibility seriously, mentoring new talent with the same honesty, humor, and heart that had defined her career. Yet behind the scenes, Jiggly was facing battles of her own. The glitter and lights often hid the toll that life in the spotlight, coupled with health struggles, was taking on her. Like many trans women of color, Jiggly faced systemic barriers to adequate healthcare. Throughout the years, she battled infections and complications in silence, rarely letting the public see the extent of her pain. Earlier this year, whispers began to emerge that Jiggly had undergone a partial leg amputation due to a severe infection. For those close to her, the news was devastating, but not entirely surprising. She had always been a fighter, often pushing herself beyond the limits of her body, driven by a deep desire to keep inspiring others. Even as her health declined, she remained a source of light, encouragement, and hope. On April 27, 2025, surrounded by her family and closest friends, Jiggly Caliente passed away peacefully. The world lost not just a performer or a celebrity, but a force of nature, someone who had turned her own struggles into a lifeline for countless others. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Tributes poured in from every corner of the globe. Fellow Drag Race queens like Manila Luzon, Peppermint, and Shea Coulee shared tearful memories of backstage laughter, heartfelt pep talks, and private moments of strength. MJ Rodriguez, Jiggly's Pose co-star, wrote in an emotional post, "Jiggly gave us permission to be real, to be messy, to be human. She loved without limits. She lived without apology." Fans flooded social media with their own tributes, posting fan art, favorite quotes, heartfelt thank yous for the way Jiggly had touched their lives. Stories emerged of chance meetings where she had taken time to offer words of encouragement to a struggling fan, or how her honesty about body image, identity, and mental health had helped someone step into their own light. But perhaps the most powerful tribute to Jiggly's life came not through words, but through action. In the days following her passing, LGBTQ+ organizations reported surges in donations made in her memory. Online communities organized vigils and watch parties, revisiting her most iconic performances and celebrating the fierce, loving spirit that defined her. Jiggly's story also sparked deeper conversations about the health disparities faced by trans women of color, the ongoing battles for adequate medical care, and the need for systemic change. In her life, Jiggly had advocated fiercely for visibility and dignity. In her passing, she continues to inspire action, a legacy few could ever hope to achieve. It's easy to think of Jiggly in terms of the moments that made headlines. The iconic runway looks, the unforgettable lip syncs, the powerful performances. But those who knew her best remember the quieter moments just as vividly. The hugs offered without hesitation. The encouragement whispered backstage. The unshakable belief that every person deserved to be seen, heard, and celebrated. Her life wasn't a straight line or a fairy tale, neatly tied up with a bow. It was messy, beautiful, complicated, and brave. It was a testament to the power of being unapologetically yourself, even when the world tells you not to be. In a way, Jiggly's story is all of our stories. It's the story of fighting to be seen, of choosing joy in the face of pain, of loving yourself fiercely when others refuse to. And that's why her legacy will never fade. As we mourn her passing, we also celebrate her life, a life that burned brightly, touched deeply, and changed everything it touched. Jiggly Caliente didn't just make her mark. She left fingerprints on souls. Her laughter, her spirit, her fire, they live on. In every young queen who dares to take the stage, in every fan who dares to be a little louder, a little bolder, a little more themselves, in every heart that learned to love itself a little more because of her. So tonight, as we remember Jiggly Caliente, let's not just grieve, let's honor her. Let's live a little more honestly, love a little more fiercely, shine a little more brightly. Because if Jiggly taught us anything, it's that the world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more real ones. Rest peacefully, Jiggly. You will never be forgotten, and your light will never, ever go out.